Volodymyr Zelenskiy, security guarantees will probably be decided by our partners, and there will be more and more details, since all of this will be put on paper and formalized in some way within the next week or 10 days.
But we will firmly and strictly defend our legitimate interests. I am confident that in the West, and above all in the United States, they fully understand that seriously discussing security issues without the Russian Federation is a utopia, a road to nowhere.
Russia said on Wednesday attempts to resolve security issues relating to Ukraine without Moscow's participation were a road to nowhere, sounding a warning to the West as it scrambles to work out guarantees for Kyiv's future protection. Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov particularly criticized the role of European leaders who met U.S. President Donald Trump and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskiy at the White House on Monday to discuss security guarantees for Ukraine that could help to end the three-and-a-half-year-old war. Lavrov said Russia was in favor of truly reliable guarantees for Ukraine and suggested these could be modeled on a draft accord that was discussed between the warring parties in Istanbul in 2022 in the early weeks of the war. At the time, Kyiv rejected that proposal on the grounds that Moscow would have held effective veto power over any military response to come to its aid. We cannot agree with the fact that now it is proposed to resolve questions of security, collective security, without the Russian Federation. This will not work, Lavrov told a joint news conference after meeting the foreign minister of Jordan.
We are seeing an increasingly clear understanding among our partners in the United States of the need to address the root causes of the crisis, rather than trying to support those who throw around catchy slogans about an immediate ceasefire, while at the same time saying that a ceasefire would not mean an end to supplying Ukraine with weapons. It was precisely such a statement that French President Macron made not so long ago. And it is good that this absolutely reckless position, a confrontational stance, one that supports the continuation of the war, does not find understanding with the current administration of the United States.
Washington's provision of air support. How does Moscow view this?
Regarding the numerous and detailed reports indicating that the United Kingdom, France, and Germany are actively seeking to establish and further develop comprehensive collective security guarantees, we wholeheartedly support the fundamental idea that these crucial guarantees should be genuinely and demonstrably reliable, providing a robust and dependable framework for future stability and peace. And here we have a very clear and compelling example, which, by the way, directly relates to a significant and proactive initiative that originated from the Ukrainian side itself, precisely as was the notable case in Istanbul in April of 2022, when the Ukrainian negotiating team, with considerable foresight, formally proposed the fundamental and essential principles for a comprehensive agreement specifically designed to effectively end the ongoing hostilities and to ensure a truly sustainable and lasting settlement. We absolutely cannot agree with the fundamental idea that significant security issues, particularly those concerning collective security, are now being proposed to be resolved completely without the direct and essential involvement of the Russian Federation. That will not work. We have explained on more than one occasion, and indeed we have reiterated this point numerous times, that the Russian Federation does not in any way overstate its legitimate national interests or its strategic objectives. But we will firmly and strictly defend our legitimate interests. I am confident that in the West, and above all in the United States, they fully understand that seriously discussing security issues without the Russian Federation is a utopia, a road to nowhere.
How do you assess the diplomatic steps taken by the European Union to resolve the Ukraine?
Before evaluating them, you need to see them first. So far, all we see is rather aggressive escalation of the situation, rather clumsy and frankly quite unethical attempts to change the position of the Trump administration and the President of the United States personally, as we observed during the Europeans' accompaniment of Mr. Zelenskiy to Washington just this Monday. We did not hear any constructive ideas from the Europeans there. As for the President of the United States and his team, yes, we see that they really have been, not just for the past week, but practically since coming to the White House, engaged specifically in diplomacy regarding Ukraine. Now, Kaja Kallas, by the way, she is widely considered to be the chief diplomat within the European Union, holding the esteemed position of the High Representative for various significant foreign affairs. She explicitly stated after the crucial Washington meeting that the European Union will absolutely not trust any agreements or accords with the Russian Federation. That is precisely why the European Union will steadfastly continue to provide comprehensive support to the armed forces of Ukraine. And the European Union will promote new sanctions against Russia regardless of any agreements, which she says she does not trust. But this is not diplomacy. This is already a degradation of foreign policy methods, which in fact for the European Union boil down exclusively to sanctions.
Events, that is, the meeting between Russian President Putin and...
Following the phone conversation the day before yesterday with President Trump, our president proposed not only to continue these negotiations, but also to consider raising the level of the heads of delegations. And this fits precisely with our proposal, which I just mentioned, that within this process a separate block should be devoted to considering the political aspects of the settlement alongside the military and humanitarian ones. It is clear that the reaction of the Ukrainian side does not depend on us. But since this idea was received positively by President Trump, we expect that he will convey and explain it to the representatives in Kyiv, and we will receive a response.
Had very good conversation with President Trump.
Very good.
And it really was the best one, maybe the best one will be in the future. But it was really good. And we spoke about very sensitive points. The first one is security guarantees, and we are very happy with President that all the leaders are here, and the security in Ukraine depends on the United States and on you and on those leaders who are with us in our hearts. They have been online before yesterday, and etc. So a lot of countries on the side of Ukraine, our people, and all of us want to finish this war, stop Russia and stop this war. We spoke about it, and we will speak more about security guarantees. This is very important that the United States gives such strong signal and is ready for security guarantees. The second point, or maybe the first, humanitarian direction, very important to exchange all the prisoners, and I think that President will help. And I was very thankful to your wife again, Mr. President, for the letter about our abducted children, and I hope that really it can be a historic role for the people to bring kids back to the families and be happy.
Get the people back, yeah.
Yes, this is so important, and I'm happy that we discussed it, this track with the President Trump, and I hope that we will find decisions. And then what is very important, that all the sensitive things, territorial, etc., we will discuss on the level of leaders during trilateral meeting, and President Trump will try to organize such meeting, and he said that he will come or not come. Ukraine will be happy if you
both
participate.
Want me there, I will be there. Yeah,
yeah,
you know that.
Thank you. And I think this is very important. Yes, so security guarantees, bringing kids back, and all our people, not only warriors, first of all warriors, and all the civilians, journalists, a lot of people in prison. So we need them back. And guarantees which will work for the years. We spoke about it, and I showed the President a lot of details on the battlefield, on the map. Thank you so much. Thank you for the map, by the way.
Good map.
It was great. Yeah. I'm thinking how to take it back.
We'll get you.
No. I think that we had constructive, specific meeting, and I'm very thankful to all the leaders who are here, and you help a lot, and so we are happy that we have such big unity today. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you very much,
for hosting us.
Mr. President. I think you'll see that President Putin really would like to do something else. I think when we set that up, when we do, I think it's going to be when, not if. I think you're going to see some very really positive moves.